we're taking it to the next level. We are the BYB trading community taking ourselves up. This is amazing because we have one of our master traders again, always teaching us things that's going to take us to the next level. And today's focus is Bitcoin charting and technical analysis. We are always also giving that strong ahead, so make sure y'all tune in and stay in for that real key information that can make you them plays for the strong ahead. You got to make sure that you ahead. You got to make sure that you're studying. You got to make sure that you're prophesying, that you know what's coming. And no way to do it better than with the BYB community. We all lovepreneurship, putting that love and entrepreneurship together. And so one way that we finance ourselves is with trading, whether it's trading our assets, because again, it's better to use your money as an employee rather than yourself, because your time is one of your most valuable, if not the most valuable asset that you got. You did. So talk to the people, brother, about Bitcoin charting, and let's get going and really give the people the overview of Bitcoin. Talk to them like they ain't never even invested in such asset, because that's really what a lot of people really are on that level anyway.
Yeah, Bitcoin is more of like I guess what you would call a speculative asset. Well, it used to be a speculative asset. It's not speculative anymore, and now we got a Bitcoin reserve that's going to be minted by our president. So what the reserve is basically we can, I guess in a nutshell, to give you a quick overview. Everyone understands what gold is. We all know what a gold reserve is. We all understand that the dollar is backed by gold. That's how the currency works. So what if I told you they decided that they're going to change the standard of how the dollar is backed? So they want to back it with Bitcoin now, which is digital currency. So basically the internet of all things. So when we were coming up, we might have needed to be like a seed investor, or basically you want to have $100,000 or more to be able to invest into the stuff back then. Now it's a situation where you don't have to have any of that. You just have to have the knowledge and understand to invest. So they give you the ability to put your money into the world reserve currency, which will be Bitcoin, by the internet, basically, if that makes sense. So you get to get a piece of something, you own something. So for years, it's like, you know what? I'll give you a better analogy. It's like for a long time, everybody at the casino were rich. Everyone at the casino could play, make lots of money, but everyone else at the casino were basically like the workers. They were the workers to the people who were rich. They didn't get a chance to actually play or invest or try to get a chance to win at the tables. They only got to participate by being there, seeing what they're doing, hoping they give them crumbs because they don't have enough money to play at the tables. They made the limits so high you couldn't play. You could only watch them play. So in the world we lived in, that's how capitalism took so much effect over people, the haves and the have-nots, because there's a position of people that once they get here, it doesn't allow people below to ever get there. The aspiration is too high, the gap's too far. So what they did is they figured out a way to lower the gap to make it so that the middle class and the lower class can be equal on the same plane as the rich. So now at the casino, everybody gets the ability to not only work at the casino, but speculate. You can gamble and invest just like everyone else. So now, like a Microsoft or an Amazon or a Google, you didn't have the ability to put money into those companies when they first came out because we weren't allowed into the party. They made us the workers. We were only able to participate by watching them make money, and maybe we could buy an Apple phone, or we could go shop on the Amazon website. We couldn't buy Amazon shares. We gladly would have wanted to buy Amazon shares. So investing in them is good. You'll make money, but they know that you won't get wealthy, which is the point. They want to keep you at a certain level, so the haves and the have-nots. But Bitcoin is the ability to beat that because it's at a level that everybody has to get in at the same level, and there is no more have and have nots because you have the ability to invest at the ground floor. So when gold came out, we couldn't invest because we weren't privy to it, and we didn't have the ability to go through the brokerage. It costed money. When stocks came out and companies came out, we weren't having the ability to invest. We were only able to be workers. Now Bitcoin is out, which is going to be higher than all of those things, but you have the ability to invest. All you got to do is take $1 and you go on Coinbase and you buy Bitcoin. You start buying it, taking your fiat money, your cash, and you buy Bitcoin, which will give you the ability to step away from the system. Because that same Bitcoin that's currently like 90 something, $93,000 right now. The ticket just went to 96. It's going to be worth $1 million in the next 5 years. So if you were investing in Bitcoin, you have the ability to exponentially grow your wealth, exponentially grow your assets, exponentially grow your funds, exponentially put yourself in a position to have the funds to go purchase a house, to go purchase a car, to start up a business, to do the things that we were stopped from doing. So this is the best investment. This is the only investment. But if you feel like, you see Bitcoins, a lot of people feel it's too late. It's $96,000 a coin. Can't afford that. This is why we're helping you with things that are in the stock market correlated to the Bitcoin. So when we told you last week, Riot, Bitcoin just went up about 7 or 8 grand over the last 24 hours. So now you think to yourself, Bitcoin was at about 79,000. If you had 79,000, granted most people don't, but if you did, you bought Bitcoin at 79,000. It's at 96,000. You just made like 14 grand and you didn't even do anything. The thing is, that was in 24 hours. Unless you make, if you make 14 grand at your job, by all means, shit, maybe we don't need Bitcoin, we need you. But if you're not making that, you need to be focusing on the fact that you could have put your whatever your money was here, and you'd have made a quick 10, 20%. Some of these other plays are going 30, 40. Some of my other plays are going 60, 90. This is a percent. Most people don't look at the percents; they think of it as a small gain. Because they go, "Oh, what's 1%? What's 5%? What's 20%?" But when you see your whole amount of all of your money and all of your wealth, it's a big number. So I tell people, think about if you had all of your money ever accumulated together. So think of income tax time. You got income tax time. You throw your little $10,000 lump sum at something, it makes 100%. You just made 10 grand. You're at 20 grand. You do the same thing next year, you're at 40 grand. You do the same thing the year after that, you're at 80 grand. Do it after that. Once at a point, you'll get to escape velocity. I know when you hit a quarter million, you'll feel like, you know what, I don't really need to do this much more because you're at a point now of escape velocity. And that's what happened with the rich people. They got to escape velocity and they were never going to look back for the lower people. They're not going to allow us to invest in stuff that would take from them because then they got to go work again. So now we have the unique ability to invest in Bitcoin. We have the unique ability to invest in stocks. And the stocks that I'm giving you are Riot, Mara, HUT, BITF, CIFR. These are Bitcoin miners. Tesla, Palantir, SoFi. These are companies that have Bitcoin on the balance sheet. So they're like a double play. You not only get to buy the company that's doing well, you get to buy the company that's buying the shares of Bitcoin that you can't afford. So you tell yourself, I can't afford a Bitcoin, but you know there's companies that you could buy that do buy it every day, and then you have your exposure. IBIT is another one. That's an ETF. IBIT. That ETF is going to go to at least four. Well, I won't say four. Well, it's at 50 something. I would say it's going to go to about $200 in the next 3 to 5 years. But it's an ETF. But the way ETFs work, is they go up for about 7 years. The first year is usually the strong year. Next year is the strongest year. The year after that gets stronger. It gets stronger and stronger for about 5 years, and it starts to curve off around year 7. So every year you can anticipate us having a higher return on Bitcoin, just based off of the macros for an ETF and how they work. They have to keep investing. They have to keep buying. Once they start allocating to something, they don't have the unique, the un, they don't have the ability to basically stop buying like we do. They have to keep buying. So they buy the asset because they have a fiduciary to their clients. So they're going to keep buying even when it's down. So as long as you understand that you're in a situation where you can get into an asset right now and you can keep buying it along with the richest people in the world who are buying it, and you can sell it before them. So you can get in and get out before they can. So there's your ability to grow your wealth.
That's big, man. Dropping them gems already, dropping them gems. And I hope y'all are really making sure y'all are picking those up, man. Cause you know what I'm saying? My bro is doing this for the frozen people or the chosen people, better say. Cause if you know, you know. You know what I'm talking about? If you in that hive community, you already know the plays that we making. The main thing that I'm even seeing is from what bro's mentioning is Bitcoin being a store of value, an asset that can take us to the next level. You know, something that is akin to how gold was. Ultimately, an opportunity for our people to be able to be a part of that growth. We weren't there when stocks were coming out, like my brother said. Weren't there maybe where when the gold was coming out, but we're here at the start of Bitcoin, even just hearing about it for years, people still don't quite know what it is. So, brother, let's get it back down to the simple one, two, the simple 1, 2, 3. Good job. We got to make sure it's simple 1, 2, 3. You know, so talk to the people. What is Bitcoin? You know, like
To
who
your
made
point,
that? I know they say it was
yeah,
2008.
we'll simplify it for them. So to break it down for you in layman's terms, quick, simple, ABC. Bitcoin is a storage of value. You want to have the ability to stop having your money be eaten by inflation, as well as stagflation, as well as deflation. So you get taxed. When you get money, they take your money. You get taxed at the bank. You get taxed at your job. You get taxed when you go spend money. You get taxed when you buy. When you're receiving money, you're getting taxed because they want to know about how much money you receive so they can get a tax off of it. So at the end of the day, your money is constantly losing value. The reason your money loses value is because they print more and more of it. So think about it. Dollars, they print more and more dollars. My dollar loses value. Bitcoin, storage of value. How is it storage of value, you say? Doesn't lose any money. You print more money, it doesn't lose its value. You raise the inflation, it doesn't lose its value. It actually goes up with inflation. So if inflation goes up, its price point goes up. So it has the ability to stay above inflation at all times because it's not connected to the centralized network, which is where people rob you. So in the decentralized network, which is where you and I have the ability to peer to peer our situation. So if I want to get $1 from you or you get $2 from me, we don't have to go through a transaction that charges us 50 cents to be able to have that transaction. So we actually get our proprietary net worth and value back. So it basically gives you the ability to store your value, store your energy over time. When you go to work, you work for money. You don't actually get anything back. They take your value from you. You give them energy, you produce things, you create things, and they give you money. You get nothing. With this, you can take the money that they give you that's really worth nothing because it's losing value, and you can place it into Bitcoin, storing your value. So you basically just stored your time and energy. So now you get to keep your proprietary worth, your value, your equity. So now all of those dollars that you worked for, you get to put it here and keep it stored, and in the future it'll be worth more because your energy can't be destroyed. It can only be dispersed and moved around. So in this situation, as other people bring their energy to Bitcoin with your energy to Bitcoin, we will grow as a unity and we will become so powerful we can't be stopped. At that point, we get out of the matrix. And we can't tell us what to do anymore. They can't tell us how to spend our money, where to spend our money, when to spend our money. So, in a simple term, Bitcoin is freedom.
That's good. That's good. That's good. That's a good way to cook it. I like definitely what you just said right there. You know what I mean? Being able to take yourself to the next level because they got to be able to utilize the tools. Either you're using the tools or the tools are using you, and so we have to be able to utilize the tools in this particular era, this particular day and time. And so really one thing I always love to do is give people that long haul view of money. I know they always mention things were stored on a gold standard. I guess why were things stored on a gold standard? and how come now Bitcoin doesn't need to be on a gold standard? If you don't mind us asking.
Yeah. So to break that more so down, is the gold standard is more so when we're backing the dollar. So we had to have something to say the dollar's what we trust, and God we trust, But we printed it to say that it's a standard of how we would move money because gold is bulky. Nobody wants to walk around with a bar of gold. It's kind of heavy. You can't really move. You can't shave off pieces of it everywhere you go to try to give a person money. So what they did was they used the value of gold and said, all right, this is the gold value. We'll give you dollars as an IOU. So that's why we have the world reserve currency as the dollar because it's supposed to be backed by gold. But with Nixon, we were taking off the gold standard. What that means is the gold is still there, but because we're the reserve currency, we can't use the gold to back it because we need the gold to keep as a storage of value. So if we use the gold to back the dollars that we print, the gold will lose its value because we're losing value in every time we print more money. So in this situation, the dollar was always going to fall down and die. They just needed to find another system to change over to. So in this situation with Bitcoin, it can be the world reserve currency because it's a digital form of currency. It's basically digital gold. So it's the same concepts as gold, where you get your storage of value. It's worth because it's backed by something that's scarce. Because basically, gold is a rare earth mineral. Gold has properties in it that other things can't do. It's a conduit of electricity as well as we use for our piping and things like that for water. Just a lot of practical use cases. So it's God's money, if you will. Gold is God's money. That was here already. As you dig for the minerals, we understand that these minerals have the ability to produce and conduce certain things and make certain things. So we keep it as value because it's scarce. We need it. There is no other thing in the world that is as valuable as the gold. But we don't have the ability to move these things around in the world that we live in is digitalized. We live now in, the internet of all things. So in order to change the internet so we can still have value there and still have value amongst the world, we needed something to be able to back the digital currency. So this is what we're doing. Now we're using Bitcoin to be the storage of value, which is digital gold. So basically all of the gold, which is about at $18 trillion market cap, is going to start to either come down and Bitcoin is going to go up, or we'll rise to the point of gold and we'll flip it. So we'll be higher in Bitcoin market cap than we are gold market cap. So that way the world can transact in digital currency versus the physical currency. Because you ask yourself right now, when's the last time you had to pull out cash? Probably at the valet, maybe tipping somebody at a restaurant. But on your day-to-day services, most of us don't use cash. You use Cash App, Venmo, a credit card, a debit card. Rarely do you actually have cash on you, and rarely are you going somewhere that they're going to accept cash from you. They just banned pennies. We don't even produce pennies anymore in America. Just so you know, that's done. It costs us 2 cents to make 1 cent. That's over. So where there is no more pennies, those are banned.
Yeah, that's rich. That's rich, man. That's that's a great example of the conundrum of the system right there, bro. It costs 2 cents to make
To
one
make
cent.
1 cent. And that 1 cent is not even based in actual copper because you know that since the 1980s,
That's crazy.
copper has been overlaid with zinc. So you really just got you got this much zinc and you got about that much copper. I think it's about point 0.4, point 0.3. So there's really not even that much copper on the penny. So like you'd actually get more value out of your penny melting it down than you would actually using your penny at a store. Your penny is more valuable melting the copper than it is melting a little bit of copper off the penny than it is to actually use the penny because it's not even rooted in copper, which from the 1800s is rooted in zinc and a couple other base metals, and then it just has a little overtone over it.
Now that's good, man. That's such a good way to explain to people just how some things that we do, just because we do it, doesn't mean it was based in logic or sense or efficiency or overall economic growth in mind. And so that definitely is important for us to not be afraid to relook at the way we look at things. And talking about looking at things, I see we got a comment here. Somebody said both you guys are going places. Man, good job. Say, go ahead, Jeopard 1969. Man, go ahead. That's the key. This is that wisdom talk. Like, share, and subscribe because we are taking people to the next level. And the main thing that we have to do is make sure that we are really tuning into that technical analysis. And so, just before we slide, talk to the people about the technical analysis, things to pay attention to as it relates to Bitcoin.
Okay, I
Really,
got you.
also, I know you mentioned Bitcoin, and just being also a Bitcoin maximalist, or uh, what are your thoughts on the altcoin season? Do you believe we should just go all in on Bitcoin, or do you believe that there are also some other things that we should invest in as well? And take it away.
Yeah, so just to close off on it, I would say Bitcoin is definitely the best investment. So let me make it real clear. Bitcoin is not speculative. Even though they appear to be speculative, Bitcoin will be the top daddy in the room. So when you want to make an investment, I would allocate 60% or more to Bitcoin. Then you have the other ones like Ethereum, that's smart contracts. So I'll break it down for everybody. Bitcoin is your storage of value. It's where you want to put your money. It's almost like a savings account, but this savings account grows about 100% a year. Sometimes on average 50% a year. Well, I'll even give it a Kroger. The Kroger is about 39 to a year. This is what that will grow. So that's your savings account. Then we have our Ethereum, which is basically your smart contracts. You ever sold something that someone else sold after you sold it to them? But with a smart contract, you have the ability to always get proprietary use in what you sold. If you create an item and you sell it to someone else, and they sell it to someone else, you still make a residual every time that item is sold because you have a smart contract connected to it. You own that item. They're only selling it. They can't ever own it because you own it. If they wanted to own it, they got to go to you directly and buy the rights, and you have to sell them. If you didn't sell them, you still keep residual income coming. And then we have Solana. Solana is almost like your casino, if you will, the meme coin casino. This is where we're buying attention. Things like a chill god or, lit. I'm lit. It's litty. Things that, I would say the younger kids gravitate to, but it's also adults as well because Doge is something that's in the media, so it's got a little bit of attention. But this is more meme based, with casino based, which gives you the ability to turn $50 into $50,000, not overnight, in 10 seconds. This is this is why Solana is so heavily touted about and people talk about it. And then we get into altcoins. Your altcoins are your utility based tokens. So XRP has the ability to bridge all currencies. So as everyone transacting money, XRP has the ability to bridge where they transact so they make money every time you move money. And they have the ability to move money effortlessly, faster than everyone else, cheaper than everyone else. That's why they have the ability to go to the banks. Then you have ADA, which is Cardano, also another altcoin. They're like Ethereum. They also operate on smart contracts. They're a little slower, but they're a lot cheaper. They're faster and they're more scalable. They're at about $1. Ethereum is at about 2,700. You understand the difference there? You can buy you a lot more ADA than you can Ethereum. So Ethereum has good potential to go to about 14,000 per coin. Cardano has the ability to go to about 100 per coin. So the difference is you might look at the two going to 14 is good, but that's only like 8 or 9 deviations. If you look at 100 from one, that's 99. So if you got $1,000 there, you'll make $100,000. You put $1,000 into Ethereum and it goes up to 14. You're probably just gonna make about $4 or $5,000. So the upside to that is definitely ADA. You always want to go with the lower market cap in that situation because they have more to prove and they have the ability to go with a bigger upside because there's more room for them to get to the higher upside. To give I think ADA is around 100 billion market cap, maybe 80 billion market cap, and Ethereum is at about 300 billion market cap. So there's a lot more room for Cardano to get to Ethereum's market cap versus Ethereum getting to about a billion. It's going to be a little harder because it's going to take more money coming into that system. And then when we get down to the meme coins, that's purely speculative. They don't have any utility most times. It's more so just based off of what you think, what you feel, and what the trading community is doing. Some of them are like a Bonk or a Pepe or a Whiff or a Doge. I won't put Doge in there actually. Doge is connected to a trillionaire. Elon Musk likes Doge. He's the. This is how I look at meme coins. If there's any trillionaires or billionaires, or I'll say billionaires that are touting a meme coin, meaning they put their name next to it, that meme coin is going to be more than a meme coin in the future because they understand that they're trying to put utility to something that doesn't have utility. So a person with that much money understands that you don't waste your time with that situation other than making sure it has the ability to turn into something bigger than what it is. So with Dogecoin, Elon Musk is the only person that touts for that. All the other meme coins, they're just meme coins. No one else. There's no other billionaire or trillionaire saying, "Hey, yeah, I'm all for that coin." They're not allowing you to use Dogecoin to buy shit on the Tesla website. You understand? So that's a big deal with Dogecoin being able to be accepted by Tesla and certain little small things because is the irony of Dogecoin is it's built on the same chains as Bitcoin. So it's proof of work, not proof of concept. So you got proof of work, and then you got you got the staking basically, where you could put out something for basically it's the proof of concept, and then you have the proof of work. So you actually got to do the work. So in these situations, you don't have the ability to just stake it. You got to show that all of these are computable, all of these are securities that work, all of these are tested, netted, all of these are netted, tested, vetted processes that all work already. So Bitcoin is like cash. Dogecoin is also like cash. It can be used as legal tender. This is something people don't know about Dogecoin. It actually has the ability to be used as legal tender. And if you know what X is, because Elon Musk from the PayPal mafia vowed to have a payment system, and he now was called X before it was PayPal. He wasn't able to call it X, so he changed it to PayPal. Now he has X that he changed from Twitter to X. He wants this Twitter X place to be the payment of all things. So with that being said, he basically came back full circle with his baby, his idea from I want X to be the world payment for everything, where everybody brings all of their money and everything is used on here. So he's now made it full circle where everything will be able to be used on X because he's integrated his own ecosystem. He's integrated his own cars. He's integrated his own satellite system. He's integrated his own ability to operate and launch a phone service. He's integrated Gronk, which is a chat engine, which like Google. He's integrated everything one by one to make a system that's the same system that we all use, but individually. We all Google stuff. We all use the chat, we all use the Google. We all have a bank. We all have these different systems. We don't have any of these systems that are all in one place where they offer you everything at one spot. He figured out that that's his goal and that's his plan. So that's what X is coming to. And I think the final trifecta for it all, this is speculation, guys, 100% speculation right here, is that he's going to implement Dogecoin at the end of this year or the end of next year as a payment processor for his X platform. And eventually that will be the same payment that he uses when they get on planet Mars. So full circle, the hardest money in the world is going to be Dogecoin. And I know that's going to be a crazy take because right now I'm telling you, Bitcoin's the hardest, Bitcoin's the strongest. But if I'm being frank and I'm being honest, and I compare charts all the time, comparing every chart in the game to Bitcoin, not one of them come close, except Dogecoin. And guess what? Dogecoin doesn't come close. It's actually harder money than Bitcoin. When you compare the two charts of Bitcoin to Dogecoin, Dogecoin has a harder run and has went longer and is a higher return, period. And in fact, just to give the numbers statistic wise, because it blew my mind seeing it. I said this can't be correct stats. Let me give you guys the stats. We're gonna go with Doge. Hold on.
I'm
And
up over there cooking.
we're
Hope
gonna
you.
look at it. We're gonna look at it in USD dollar return. So let me give it to you this way. Hold on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then once you also pull that up too, I also wanted you to show them the screen that you had on the back there over there. I saw a GC trade plan because that's going to be the focus. That's going to be the key on what the people are going to need in order to take themselves to the next level. So what my bro just said is make sure you're a visionary for yourself, your lovepreneurship, because too often people are not taking themselves to the next level. They're not thinking ahead. You got to see how a lot of people have been able to take their initial love to the next level. But we have to be wiser. We have to be the best example for that, right? And so, how do we do that in this day and time? How do we do that in this day and time? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How do we do that?
Right, man. Yeah, I'm popping up. Let me tap this screen real quick. So just on the backdrop, right? If you see right behind me, let me lean out for a little bit. Let me see what's zooming in for you guys. Well, that's gonna zoom me. Let me lower me. So as you see right there, that's Bitcoin right now at 92,884. I put it with 5 years. In the last 5 years, Bitcoin's done 989%. That's in the last 5 years, right? That's Bitcoin. This is Dogecoin. That ain't a typo. That's 9,969%. Bitcoin went 969% in 5 years. Dogecoin went 9,900 and change. So it went the same amount, just 9,000 higher. So the only thing you question yourself now is, do I go all in on Bitcoin or do I go all in on Dogecoin? But remember, they're gonna tell you you're crazy buying Dogecoin because they're gonna say they don't got no utility. It's not a real asset. It's not. It's a meme. It's a joke. Ain't shit funny about 9,989%. The joke is, I wish I'd have noticed this shit 5 years ago. We wouldn't even probably be talking about these. We'd be trading $1 million assets at that point right
No, no. Hey, to those who know, we're gonna pick them up. We're gonna pick up these gems, man, because that's the key. That's the key right there. I also wanted. I saw that you had a screen GC trading plan. I didn't know if you wanted to
now. Yeah,
talk to the
I'm
people about
going
that
back.
before we close out.
Yeah, hold on. Let's see if I can get to it.
Excellent, excellent. So, yep.
This one was this ES though. So yeah, I know ES is those is the futures programs. So this was a little more advanced. So this wasn't really what I really wanted to get y'all into though. This is basically options for futures. So these is contracts that are like $2,000 and $3,000 per. So they're not really like nothing for a beginner. Like NQ is the Nasdaq, EQ, you got ES, you got SPX, you got SPY. Those is basically the indices. So you trade in the highest level because you trade in the whole overall market. So at that point, you trade in like points. Like it'll move 50 points to 100 points. Each point could make you $500 though, or $100, depending on how much the contract you got each one. So you might be in there and make a quick $10,000 every time, but the contract might cost you like $1,600. So they're just higher price contracts to do the same things on like smaller options. That's really all that is. Like that's how you see the gains where people be doing like 39% on the 30x long. This is just getting into other areas. Like this is another thing we teach too. Like right here with most people don't learn this concept right now for doubling. This is only just a 30-day doubling, but like you don't realize you'll be at well over $1 million in 30 days just in the doubling process. It's just people don't realize the penny, first day, second day, 2 pennies, 4. You get to the right here, people see it, they go, yeah, well, what about the next level? I said, oh, I got you. Hold on. It's pretty simple. Once you get to like the smaller amounts, as I tell people, you get, it's just basically monitoring what you're doing when you're doing it. Most people don't have a plan when they do it; they just do it. So I say in this situation, you start with the doubling process. Lets you get all the way down to I think that's what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. You're only 15 days in at that point, right? And then you hit the other side of it, the other side, right? And you see how the numbers start jumping crazy. Those is all just doubling. And in 30 days, you'll be at 5 million. The numbers is only, it's what it is most times it's the lack of emotional intelligence. So there's a level of fear that happens. So when a person puts $500 up, you feel cool. It's just 500. You made 500. Now you got 1,000. It's not that big of a deal. You put up another 1,000 and go to 2,000. Not that big of a deal. 2 go to 4. Not that big of a deal. 4 go to 8. You start to think about it. You're like, yeah, that's a little bit of money. 8 go to 16. Now you're really starting to think about it. You're starting to count the car you want to buy. 16 go to 32. You start counting a house. You're like, man, I could put down money on this. You might not even make it past 32 because at that point you've seen the money happen so fast. You told yourself, I'll just start over and do it again. This is how we lose. No emotional intelligence. If you understand that process, you flip till you get to the goal. You do not stop. When that 32 hit an M, then you can start moving around. Because even if you got a time frame on that goal, if you miss, now you can start to shoot. Because even if you went for $1 million and you missed and landed on 250,000, you're still up a lot higher than you was when you started. The point is to shoot for the moon and land on the stars.
That's bars, man. That's bars. That's bars. That's bars. And that's a great place to pin it, man. Great place to pin it, man. My bro was dropping gems all day, but it's nothing new, man. IQ heavy. You know what I'm talking about? Never light. You know what I'm talking about? This is the truth. You got to make sure that you're doing things as simple as 1, 3, and if it's not as simple as 1, 2, 3, then you ain't doing it right. You're not doing it in the best way for you to take yourself to the next
Facts.
level.
Revise it, revamp it, redo it. That's all I said. Revise it, revamp it, redo it in those situations. Make sure you always making sure you lock it in at the highest level.
Amen, amen, amen. And on that note, we want to close out on that one. We all got to make sure y'all watch this replay, man. Y'all got to make sure y'all tune in. Y'all got to make sure y'all tap into the Bitcoin, man. Make sure that you invest. Make sure that you not only invest in the asset, but invest in the technologies, invest in the companies that are doing the same. Make sure that you free yourself in order to be yourself. You may have missed gold, but you can get yourself a piece of that digital gold you need. So invest in your community, teach somebody, the more you learn, the more you earn. You dig?
Hey,
Anything you want?
I give you a little gem on the way out. Look at GameStop for some options. If Bitcoin going to do what it's supposed to do, which I anticipated too, what people don't know is GameStop got a whole lot of money sitting on the sideline. Makes no sense for them to have that much money. They don't got nowhere to allocate it. They might as well move the money into Bitcoin. I'm a speculative thinker, but I'm a critical thinker. So if I'm in their position and I got all that money, it's a no-brainer. As long as I know that the government is going to regulate it, meaning the president just said that they're going to make a world reserve, I'm taking whatever money I got that I can allocate from wherever I'm at, and I'm dumping it into the Bitcoin, or I'm dumping it into a Bitcoin reserve, or I'm dumping it into a Bitcoin allocation. So that way I can, over the next year, make way more money that will go to the company, which gives me the ability to spin my company off into way bigger than what it actually is. But GameStop being around where it is and then having a potential short squeeze from previous, I would say look at GameStop, get you some options for a year out, and just wait it out. On that note, guys, have your time back. I appreciate y'all. You already know I could have you in the building. Next time we
Yeah.
link up, we're gonna have some more high level information for you.
Amen, amen, amen. Make sure y'all keep yourselves in the next level, man. Keep focused on the mission. Y'all can do this. Make sure that you invest. We appreciate my brother for dropping them gems. Keep growing. Keep knowing. Amen.